Come on, relax and just enjoy the show. We got you here on Straight Talk. Don't be lying, yes, you already know. We got you here on Straight Talk, yeah. We got you grooving. Let us know how you doing. We keep it live right here on Straight Talk. Riccardo Montgomery.
Welcome to Straight Talk with your boy Riccardo Montgomery, aka the voice from Gospel Radio. Hanging out with you on this day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Look at y'all, it's a beautiful day out. I just had to bring it outside. The sun's out. It's a little nippy cold, so I ain't gonna sit in front like I'm not, cold or nothing. But it's a beautiful scenery out. So I just wanted to be able to bring that to you today. Hey, I'm telling you, I got a great show lined up for you. I got my red on. I know February 4th was the day to wear red. And I wanted to celebrate it that day too. We're talking about the heart disease. And it's the number one killer of women across the country. So it doesn't matter who you are or what you are. This is something that we should always pay attention to and really keep it on the radar. And it's also February, so we're kicking off Black History. And I tell y'all, man, my guest today, man, we are talking relationships also today. So we got a great relationship because I got a great relationship with this young man. And I'm so happy to have him here with me today on Straight Talk. I want y'all to welcome my friend, my brother, Pastor Jay Windsor of Nazareth Baptist Church. How you doing today, Pastor Windsor? What's going on, my brother?
I'm good, my brother. How you doing this morning, man? Good to see you, bro.
Man, it's good to be here, man. I'm so thankful to have you here on the show, man, because there's a lot going on. I see you got your red on, so I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know, we're going to talk relationships, but let's just kind of real quick bring awareness to why they wear red. I mean, it's the heart disease, and it's the number one killer of women across. And he took my grandmother, so it's very important for us to be aware of this because all of us got mothers, all of us got daughters, all of us got wives and sisters, so we care about this. So
Absolutely.
so when you hear about it, man, what does it make you feel when you hear about wearing red and how important that is?
Just the biggest thing is, like you said, bringing awareness to this unfortunate disease that has plagued so many of the women that you just mentioned, our mothers, our wives, our daughters, and grandmothers and great grandmothers. And so being able to support and bring awareness to this unfortunate disease is paramount. I'm sure that many individuals who have lost loved ones, want a heightened awareness in it. I think the church has a major role in making sure the awareness is poignant and spoken to, not just in the month of February, but really the holistic man. Because yes, we know the word saves us and we know that the word cleanses us, but we're also responsible for making sure that we take care of our temples. So that includes our health and our physicals and our checkups and our diets and all those things. And so this is just a small portion of being able to bring awareness to the bigger picture of making sure that we are whole in our entirety, not just our spiritual man, but also our physical one.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that, man. And I don't want to dwell too much on that because I know a lot of people had their things on that. And but let's talk today about relationships, man. I mean, like I said in the intro, man, you and I, good friends,
Right.
man, got together and hooked up and been rolling with each other ever since, man. And
Yes, sir.
relationships are important all across the board. I mean, whether if it's husband and wife relationship, or if it's
Right.
friendships, um, you know, relationships of businesses and networking and all kind of things, man. It's very important. But how come
Absolutely.
we don't take advantage of that word? Because we really sometimes a lot of people just use that and say, okay, well, my relationship is kind of finicky. It's not like the importance
Complicated.
of right.
Right.
Yeah. Like we don't really take it the importance of having a good relationship nowadays it seems like.
Yeah. I think some of it kind of comes down to valuing yourself, being able to understand who you are as an individual. And the root word of relationship is to relate, being able to find a commonality within someone. And it doesn't always have to be spiritual. Some of it can be just based on ethics and morals and your upbringing or hobbies or interests or things of that nature that you're able to relate. The Bible, Genesis really opens up, giving us an illustration of how important relationships are or were and are still are today, by God creating us in his image and his likeness so that our spirit man could relate to him. And I share with our covenant partners at Nazareth that the only way that you'll be able to relate and love someone else right is that you have to be able to love God right, and be able to love yourself right, so that you're able to relate to someone else, that you're able to bring some balance to their lives. The Bible says that the blessings of the Lord make it rich and addeth no sorrow. Doesn't mean that you're not going to have rocky relationships, but it means that you're able to work through those differences, or should be able to work through those differences. Unfortunately, in the climate that we're living in, a lot of our relationships are being divided based on spiritual values, based on political indiscretions, based on sexual orientation, and even the color of our skin. And so we have to get back to understanding the importance of being able to relate to someone who may not necessarily look like you, but their value. Each one of us have something in us that the Lord has given us, he has placed in us to be able to relate with each other. And unfortunately, man has used his carnal ways and his divisive ways to attempt to separate us. But relationships are extremely important, like I said, not just within the body of Christ, but abroad.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, I mean, like the Bible really lays it out, man. I mean, Jesus was one of the best friends you could possibly have. If he was doing that time frame. I mean, he wasn't out trying to get you to run by the law, do this by this way. It was just like he was just trying to relate to everybody that he ran into and let them know there's a better way. And you know, it's kind of as we bring it back to now, because we can easily stay in the Bible, we can easily stay on spiritual, but
Right.
when we come to today, man, it's like it's so much dysfunction that people think is good relationships. You have all these different shows that's out there, and it's just dysfunction after dysfunction after dysfunction. And people just draw to it. They
Yep.
love it. They want drama. They want you know the craziness, and think that is a healthy relationship. How do we get here?
The unfortunate term of marketing, being able to push that agenda that being dysfunctional is the correct, like it almost has to be chaos in order for it to look okay and appealing. Whereas if you see balance and peace, it's like, nah, this can't work. It can't be that way. Like there always has to be something edgy. There has to be something that causes us to run to the drama. I'm sure if you look at the ratings of reality television, I'm sure it's skyrocketing. I'm sure it's through the roof. But then if you probably look at those same ratings as it relates to shows that are about relationships and balancing things of their balancing yourself, the ratings are probably not as high. I think just as human beings, some of us are drawn to um, dysfunction. And so because of that, we then become dysfunctional. And so we invite those type of relationships into our space. If your energy is always looking for drama, then most likely that's the type of individual you're going to find yourself running towards, because that's something that you both like. So it's crazy. I mean, I remember
And
growing up, we didn't have reality TV shows.
it's so funny, man, because like growing up, man, it wasn't that many shows out there. I mean, like you had a show like Amen, that just dealt with
Right.
funny
Cosby
stuff,
Show.
dealt with this, right? Cosby
Right.
stuff, but now,
Right.
it's
Facts
so
of
much,
life, different strokes.
yeah, it's so much drama, man. People just at each other all the time, and then when people at each other, then folks on the phone doing this, and and I'm
Right.
sure my next guest who we're gonna talk to, we're gonna talk about relationships, and I'm sure this has affected some women who run the church. I hate to say this, but run the church and think they're gonna find a good man, but they got all this drama with them. Like who wants to
Right.
be around all this stuff? So we got a lot to unravel, my friend. We got a lot to unravel, but we'll be right back with more straight talk with my man, Pastor Jake Windsor of the Nazareth Baptist Church, and we're gonna talk a little Black history too, because there's a lot of things going on. So we'll be right back with more Straight
Absolutely.
Talk right after these words from our sponsors.
Get close to the words of the prophets. God is in there. Moses told his people to put scripture in little boxes and tie it to their heads. Strap the Bible to your forehead. Shout proverbs from the rooftops. Post parables on your mirror and on your wall. Pack your margins with notes. Sing the Psalms as your prayers. Read Paul out loud like poetry. Know Isaiah by heart. Love Matthew like a brother. Squeeze the verses like oranges. Do like the Lord told Ezekiel. Eat this scroll and fill your stomach with it. So I ate it, and it tasted as sweet as honey. Don't just read the words of the prophets. Eat them.
Simple Nurture is your one-stop shop for all your body care needs, providing skin, bath, hair care, handcraft soaps, candles, and gift baskets for all genders. And come on, where else can you find those candles that smell like some of your favorite foods, drinks, and desserts? Simple Nurture products are handmade, and the owner, Barbie Jones, makes them without the harsh and harmful chemicals that you find in other body care products. So check out some of the new products that's available for Valentine's Day and give them to your friends, family, or make a special gift for the one you love. See all Simple Nurture products on Facebook and Instagram at Simple Nurture or call 573-397-4853. Go to their website at www.simplenurtureall.com and get your hands on the homemade products made from love. Simple Nurture, homemade products that are simple and nurturing.
You're listening to Straight Talk with your boy, Riccardo Montgomery. Don't worry. You ain't missed nothing. You just in a commercial break. We'll be right back with more Straight Talk in a minute.
That popcorn looks good. Where'd you get that popcorn from?
GoPo.
What?
GoPo.
Who?
GoPo.
Where?
GoPo, the best gourmet popcorn made from scratch, located in the Brick District in Fulton, Missouri. GoPro has fresh, quality ingredients and makes for the very best popcorn. So if you're looking for a place to hang out or a place to play some board games, hey, get your coffee or even get a great place for a snack for the office or even movie night, stop by where they are redefining gourmet popcorn at GoPro Gourmet Popcorn. You can order online at GoProGourmetPopcorn.com.
I want y'all to go check out my friend, Miss Felicia Murphy, RightWay Taxes, right there in Omaha. Go check her out there. All the information is right here on the screen there. Y'all go check it out. If you are looking to get your taxes done, she is the lady to get that done for you. So we're back here, y'all, hanging out with you on this day. We're talking relationships today here on Straight Talk. Um, I have someone coming in here who has a lot of knowledge, and she's helped a lot of women get over certain humps and everything. And we're looking forward to having her just bless you all today. So I want y'all to welcome to Straight Talk, Miss Michelle Joyner. Miss Michelle Joyner is here hanging out with us. She is a Christian dating coach. As we went into break, we talked about how some women go to church try to find that man. So she's here to hang out with us, and let's talk about relationships and some of the things that single women or some of the mistakes single women may make. So Michelle, welcome to Straight Talk. So happy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad to be on this show with you.
Look, it is a blessing to have you, and since this is your first time on the show, this is what we do for all our first time guests. I got to check with the studio audience. This is so you just get ready for this thing. It's gonna knock your socks off. Y'all ready over there? Everybody ready? Okay, everybody's ready? All right, let's do this. And for you, Michelle, welcome to Straight Talk. So now you're a part of the Straight Talk fam. So Michelle, as we was talking about, we're talking today about relationships, and I know you're working on things. So what are some of the things that maybe women may I know you say you have the five things that Christian women, miss. So what are some of those things that they may be, coming up short with or not paying attention to that they should be paying attention
Yeah. So I can tell you the one thing, like the top reason that the top mistake, the one reason keeping Christian women single, the top reason, it's fear. They're afraid that it's too late for them to get married. They're afraid that they'll never find someone. They're afraid that their future husband doesn't exist. And that causes them to stop taking action. That holds them back. And they miss out on all the power that they have to create connection and create chemistry. Like one of the things that I believe is that women have this incredible power to create the emotional landscape of the interactions that she has. But because she's full of fear and doubt that will happen for her, she doesn't even take advantage of that power to create chemistry and create that warmth and electricity and sizzle.
to. So why would fear be the number? Like, what would cause this fear? Like, help me understand this. This is kind of hard for me to understand.
Yeah. Well, I want you to imagine that you've been single for almost, say, your whole life. Imagine you grew up in a Christian church and you were in a strict home or something like that. Maybe you didn't have a relationship and you wake up every morning, say you're 37 or 35, and you wake up every morning in a panic. I haven't gotten married. I haven't had kids yet. I've never been in a relationship. Maybe it doesn't exist for me. More than anything else, you long for it, but you're asking yourself, will this happen for me? Does God want this for me? Because it hasn't happened yet. Or the other thing is you could have gone through relationships that tore you up, broke your heart, and you fear maybe there isn't a good guy out there for me.
Hmm. Well, I mean, everybody, there's different steps. So how do you get over this? How do you start to take the steps towards realizing, hey, there are good men out there, or this is for me. I can have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is the opposite of fear? Belief.
Joy, yeah, belief, joy, yeah.
Belief, certainty, joy, confidence. The most important thing to do is to grow your confidence. Confidence in the Lord that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you're desirable, that you're chosen. You start doing that and your mindset changes, your vibe changes, your energy changes. So instead of being ruled by fear, oh, this may not happen for me, you know with confidence and belief that you are worthy and desirable, and that God wouldn't have put this desire in your heart if he wasn't going to give that for you. Well, the Bible says, delight yourselves in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. Once you own that and you have confidence that and believe that, the opposite of fear is belief, certainty. Once you believe that and build your confidence, that is when you start going from praying and waiting to praying and acting.
Okay, I like that. Because it's something that not just Christian women, but every woman can use. I mean, like, God is ordained. I mean, God has given us all the ability, and He knows every follicle on each person's head. So if you're hearing, like, Christians, if you're out there and you're not like in the church, you still can follow these same steps to find that good guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one of the things that we have been conditioned to think is that there's no good guys out there. But I want to kind of challenge that because sometimes we don't even realize there's like 300 million people in the United States, we're only looking for one guy. That one guy out of 300 million. So it's just our fear talking to think that he wouldn't exist for us, because logically and statistically, the odds really are in our favor. And in fact, I looked up the US Census review, and 91% of American adults get married. 91%. That's huge. There's no need to fear. Fear is just that sneaky little sound in the back of your mind that is holding you back, stopping you from taking action, and stopping you from believing and having the energy to take action. Got to kill that fear.
Well, in some cases, you also find that people, I'm not going to say male or female, but people um, seem to have something good, and then they just think like, wait, this can't be real, because we've gotten ourselves functioned to having drama or difficulties, or some type of something needs to happen. Dysfunction, I would use that word. That's a better word. Some type of dysfunction needs to happen. And if you're around someone and then there's no dysfunction, you kind of want that dysfunction. Why are we so drawn to dysfunction?
That's the problem about living in a world with sin. That's the problem that this world, like, it's kind of like your house, right? Mm-hmm. Your house is clean one day. It's totally clean. It's totally sparkling. What happens as the days go on? It deteriorates. It deteriorates. It gets messy. That's just the world. That's the law of the world, the entropy of the world that we're headed. We move towards disorder, and we have to constantly fight it. But I think it's a sin nature that, sin entered the world and death through sin. And that's what we need to fight that. You always need to be aware of your sinful nature. That's really the issue. We have the Holy Spirit within us, and we want to grow the fruits of the Spirit because we're fighting against our sinful nature.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I appreciate you for coming on the show to talk to us about the dating and the mistakes that are made. And I mean, fear is one of the biggest things. And another thing to combat that, like you said, is you got to believe. You got to have confidence in yourself that you are worthy to have what you want to have if you are following the guidelines of what God has out there for you. Michelle, anything else you want to tell us about? I mean, if you want to break down those 5 different things that keep Christians women single, or just mention them, so everybody can look, because people like they little lists and stuff. How it go.
I'll give you the list right now. First mistake, you're praying and waiting instead of praying and taking action. Second mistake, you're not meeting enough men. You're not meeting enough men. Connect with more men. Third mistake, practice. And stop viewing men as, are they potential husbands? No, you don't need to ask that question. Just practice building connection. Practice having fun. Men are not just potential husbands. So third mistake, you're not practicing building a connection. Fourth mistake, you're not flirting. You're not recognizing your God-given power to create chemistry. So you're not flirting. For some reason, that's holding you back. You don't know the skill of creating electricity and sizzle. And then the fifth mistake, confidence. You lack confidence in yourself. You lack confidence around men. You lack confidence in God that this can happen for you. You clean those things up, you will have a completely different experience, and you will call in your man way sooner.
All right. Y'all hear that, ladies? Y'all get it together. Go over those things. And I tell you what, Michelle, let them know where they can find you at in case someone wants to reach out to you and really help get themselves together and help break these things down.
Yeah. So where you can go, first of all, is my website, thechristiandatingcoach.com. Don't forget thechristiandatingcoach.com. You can find me on Instagram at christiandating.com. And those are the best places to find me. And also reach out to me, send me a message, and I will respond to you and show you what are the mistakes that you are making. These are general for all women. But if you want to know for yourself, what am I doing wrong? How is fear showing up for me? Sign up for a consult call and we can Get that one reason that's holding you back.
There we go. All the things right here for y'all all day, all the time. Straight talk with Riccardo Montgomery. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate you, and look forward to having you back on anytime we want to talk about relationships and breaking relationships down and trying to help people, not male and female, get over the hump. Because sometimes there's things that men do that we just don't know about also. So we'll try to get that for you too. So we'll be right back with more straight talk. Thank you again, Michelle. We appreciate you. And we'll see y'all in a little bit with more with Pastor Jay Windsor. We're going to talk a little Black history, get back into relationships right after these words from our sponsors.
Simple Nurture is your one-stop shop for all your body care needs, providing skin, bath, hair care, handcraft soaps, candles, and gift baskets for all genders. And come on, where else can you find those candles that smell like some of your favorite foods, drinks, and desserts? Simple Nurture products are handmade, and the owner, Barbie Jones, makes them without the harsh and harmful chemicals that you find in other body care products. So check out some of the new products that's available for Valentine's Day and give them to your friends, family, or make a special gift for the one you love. See all Simple Nurture products on Facebook and Instagram at Simple Nurture or call 573-397-4853. Go to their website at www.simplenurtureall.com and get your hands on the homemade products made from love. Simple Nurture, homemade products that are simple and nurturing.
That popcorn looks good. Where'd you get that popcorn from?
GoPo.
What?
GoPo.
Who?
GoPo.
Where?
GoPo, the best gourmet popcorn made from scratch, located in the Brick District in Fulton, Missouri. GoPro has fresh, quality ingredients and makes for the very best popcorn. So if you're looking for a place to hang out or a place to play some board games, hey, get your coffee or even get a great place for a snack for the office or even movie night, stop by where they are redefining gourmet popcorn at GoPo Gourmet Popcorn. You can order online at gopogourmetpopcorn.com.
From a baby's first steps to walking your daughter down the aisle, so many of life's precious moments are spent on our feet, and every step you take contributes to a healthier heart. By walking briskly for just 30 minutes a day, you can lower your risk for heart disease and stroke. So join us and take the first step to a healthier, longer life. The American Heart Association. Life is why.
Hey. Okay, Dax. Prostate cancer exam time.
Not happening.
Dax.
Listen, I'd rather do anything than get a prostate exam.
I'd rather sit in the middle seat on a long haul. I'd rather sort my nephew's Legos by color. I'd rather watch 50 Shades of Grey with my mom. I'd rather fold a fitted sheet.
Where's the corner?
Oh, here we go. Dax, a prostate cancer screening starts with a simple blood test, which we are already doing today.
Smart.
Seriously, it's that easy. Go to pcf.org to learn more.
You're listening to Straight Talk with your boy, Riccardo Montgomery. Don't worry. You ain't missed nothing. You just in a commercial break. We'll be right back with more Straight Talk in a minute.
What's up, everybody? It's your family member, Charles Jenkins. This means war. And listen, you're tuned in. Stay locked in to Straight Talk with my brother from another mother, Riccardo Montgomery.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for everything you've done for us. We're here because we are blessed, and we are trying to make every day count for you, Father God. Thank you for everything. Amen.
Welcome back, y'all. As we get ready to wrap the show up again, we talking relationships, man. Pastor Windsor, man, tell me, what do you think about the stuff that Michelle just dropped on us, man?
it was a heavy dose of reality, brother.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would have never considered the fear part of it, of the waiting piece. And, I've heard women say, well, I want to have children by this time, or I hope that I'm married by this time. And I guess if they're not, if that timeline has come and they haven't reached that part of their journey, then fear could set in. The low self-esteem could begin to settle in. And it's almost, it was astonishing to hear the number of married people in the United States. 91% is a very high number. And considering how many individuals, as she mentioned, are in the United States. And so I think it was very encouraging for those single women who are hearing this to know that there is still an opportunity for them to meet that one that God has aligned for them. I think some of the greatest relationships, I can speak for myself and my wife, starts with a friendship, man. Being able to just look at that person, you're not going in it as this is going to be my wife. This is my friend. This is someone I'm looking forward to building a healthy relationship with. I'm looking to grow with. And then, of course, that sweetens the pot by that individual becoming your spouse.
You're right, because when she said the not being able to flirt, the flirting part, because you got to have something. Because if you're always looking at someone as this is going to be my potential husband or this is going to be my potential wife, then you're missing something, because when those hard times come, you got to have that friendship. You got to be able to flirt. I mean, as old married couples, when my uncles and aunts tell me, you still got to date them. It's just because you're married don't mean it's over.
Right, right. They still need to know that you appreciate them and value them.
Exactly.
That you find them attractive, man.
Right. Yeah, it ain't just for the show. The wedding is the show, but it's more than just the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's more than just the show. So don't look at the show like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a great time, gonna get married, and all these people gonna be in. It's gonna be like this. You got years and years and years waiting on you after this, and so
that's why it's called the wedding day.
Exactly, day, not
day.
not. Oh yeah, you're married and life is going to be great. It's the day. It's kind of like when you get saved. Like now the work begins.
Exactly.
But man, but when we talk about this, man, people really don't look at it as the work part. When you talk about relationships, especially if you talk marriage, the work that goes into it. Like you hear it from people who say it all the time, but I don't think people really understand the work that comes in it. Like this is something that you have to work on daily.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that. My wife and I have been doing premarital counseling for several couples at our church, and of course, they're very excited about the upcoming day. But when we begin to peel the onion back about how they relate to each other, their finances, their previous relationships, their personal individual goals, and how that aligns with their potential spouse, all those things are important to build that healthy relationship, to find the balance. He may be someone who doesn't watch a lot of TV, but then she enjoys certain shows. And so there may be a period where you have to carve out that time to say, what can we do together, that will help us continue to grow? Aside from always talking about the bills and, what the children aren't doing, find time to build that bond with your spouse. It is work. There is not a handbook that says when this happens, turn to chapter 13, page 289. You really have to seek wisdom, seek the counsel of the Lord, and really just talk to your spouse. I mean, you have to communicate. You have to talk about those hard issues and be willing to listen. I know within sometimes in marriage and even within our relationships, we're inept to want to go ahead and respond without listening to what the person is saying. We're already on edge into what our rebuttal is going to be, and not really listening attentively to what our spouses are saying. And so if we could begin to listen more with the two ears that God has given us versus always running the one deadly tongue all the time, then I think we could probably get into some more healthier relationships.
I'm glad you said that because a lot, some people, you're right. They want to say, they want to get to what they want to say out. They just listening for key points so they can argument what you're saying. And there's, a lot of people don't really use the time. A lot of couples, I mean, not people that's in relationship, even friendship, don't use the time to say, let's slow down and let's rethink this because maybe the way I'm communicating isn't getting through. I'm trying to say this one way. Let's slow down. And a lot of times people don't take the moment to just say, wait a minute, let's revisit this. Let's just take a minute, take a break, let's come back to it. How do you,
Right.
as like you said, you're teaching and helping couples who are getting ready to get married. How do you help them realize and say, hey, sometimes you get in a heated argument because it happens, but how
Mhm.
can well, you have to learn how to break this thing down and separate yourself so you can not go too far. Because
Right.
a lot of times we start to think of our own individual person.
One of the things that I talk about, I should say my wife and I talk about, is the timing of those discussions. If you text your spouse through the course of the day or speak to your spouse through the course of the day and you ask them, hey, how's your day going? It's been a rough one. Pay attention to that. If it's already been a rough day at work, they don't want to walk into more sandpaper at the house. When they walk in, you need to be able to speak to that. Hey, babe, I know when we spoke earlier, you said you was having a rough day. What was going on? What happened? That gives your spouse, that gives your wife, your husband the opportunity to debrief and share with you what was going on that day, and be attentively listening to that instead of just as soon as he or she comes in, dumping your problems on them and not being concerned about your spouses. The other thing is understanding how that person prefers to be spoken to. Sometimes we talk at our spouses versus talking to our spouses. We're talking
That's
to them
very
as if
key.
they're children or adolescents
Hmm.
versus talking with them.
Hmm.
And so if we are able to understand that, hey, she's just as much of an adult as I am. He's just as much of an adult as I am. And we're talking um, to each other and not at each other. That helps, those tensious conversations or those disagreements. And then lastly, in a disagreement, listen again, going back to listening to what the person said offended them. We don't have the license to tell that other person, oh, well, that shouldn't have bothered you.
Hmm.
We don't have that invitation to tell that person you shouldn't have felt that way. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, we do in our
Hmm.
actions and in our deeds. So if someone says to you, the way you said that to me offended me, our response can't be or shouldn't be, well, it shouldn't have. It
Hmm.
should be, how so? What did I say that caused you to be offended? Was it my words? Was it my tone? What was it that caused me to offend you? And then from that perspective, take some self-reflection to begin to work on that and sincerely apologize to your spouse. That's the other thing. Be okay with saying, I'm sorry. I
Hmm.
missed the mark. That's all on me. I was wrong. I was out of pocket. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, we all have to make a sacrifice in relationships. And if you really
Absolutely.
care about someone and you made the mistake, you should be able to say, hey, that's on me. And it should
Exactly.
be just a man. I mean, like, I don't want to get into all this stuff, but it's not just men that should just say I'm wrong.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes it
go
takes the
both
other
ways.
person to
It go
say
both ways.
it goes both ways. Now it's two-way street.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes, sir.
but we're gonna change it up a little bit because I think we hit some great subjects there in topic. And I want people, if you want to talk more about relationships and stuff like that, hit my man up. We get all this information in a moment here. But it's also Black History, my friend.
Yes,
And
sir.
in Black History Month, man, it's kicked off with a bang for me because I think the history that is being made right now, not saying that we shouldn't go back and reflect on the past,
Right.
but I mean this NFL thing with this African American head coach and this lawsuit, man, this is history happening right now, and it really just states it's not. I don't think it's a I think it's history making at the start of Black history because it's an issue that's been dealt with and basically swept under the rug for decades. And he's brought it to light. And I don't know if this man gonna get a job or not, but it's really sad that this is what it comes to in this day and time. And with so many athletes in the NBA and in other areas that can just do what they like call their own shots, basically, kind of help keep things going. And how the NBAs have so many African Americans in the front office as head coaches, and in the
Right.
NFL, it's minute, it's crazy. And his name is Brian Flores, if you haven't heard about it. I know a lot of people who out there do follow football. We're going into Super Bowl. So this is a great time for this to come out because it's very important, especially to kick off in Black history. So tell me, how do you feel when you heard about this lawsuit that came out and the lack of coaches, African American coaches, given the opportunity in the NFL?
Unfortunately, I wasn't surprised. Being an avid sport of football, not surprised. If when you watch the games and you see that 75 to 85% of the players that are playing in the game are African Americans, but when you look at the coaching staff, there's maybe a less than a handful of offensive or defensive coordinators or special team coordinators out of the 32 teams in the NFL. You start looking at their head coaching opportunities. Mike Tomlin, my frat, Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated, is the only current African American coach. And it seems that the Steelers organization is the only organization that says we don't really care about the color of the skin, but more so the content, the character, and can this person help our organization win championships or to help our team win on a weekly basis. And so I think the NFL overall needs to do some self-reflection. There's little sound bites of what Roger Goodell and these other coaches are saying really don't matter. At this point, it's about action. You need to start all over. If you have to rebuild, then do that. But the apologies at this point, in my personal opinion, you can save those. You can miss me with the apologies. We've been hearing "I'm sorry" and "I apologize" for centuries, and nothing has changed. If you even want to start peeling the onion a little bit deeper, aside from the NFL, we're still battling voting rights issues. These are things that our grandparents and our great grandparents dealt with in the 40s and 50s and 60s, and here it is in 2022. We're still talking about the same thing. This country still doesn't have an anti-lynching bill, so it's perfectly okay to have hate crimes and things of that nature. So if you begin to connect the dots, unfortunately, these things shouldn't surprise us. The question is now, how do we change it? You look at our Senate, you look at individuals who are representing our U.S. Senate as well as House of Representatives. We're not really reflective even there. So if you're not reflective in the government on a consistent basis, you're not reflective in your educational system, you're not reflective on the local level and regional level, the reality is we're not going to be really reflective when it comes to the NFL. It's a sad state of affairs. And I think the NFL got a lot of work to get done, and they better start ASAP before they start losing sponsorships.
Well, I don't even know if they will lose sponsorships because, as you said, I mean, if you look at the numbers, they're back to sky high records and for the NFL. And, I don't think this is an issue that I think they will try to pay this man off on the background and, or try to hand him a job to see if they can just, quiet it down and figure it
Right.
out later. But you're right. I mean, the way we make the changes, we have to have more people represented. And in this
Right.
politics game, man, it is hard. I hate to say it, but it's hard because it seems like as soon as a person get in office, everything that they ran on changes, or it takes forever to get change to happen because there's so many people who are following the old way. Um,
Right.
we have to have a huge amount of one big change, and it starts at the local level. It always starts at the local level. You have to change your city council. You have to change your mayor. You have to change all these things to get things going for in the way you want things to go.
Right.
But
And,
you know,
and the other piece about it too, brother, is it just shouldn't be us fighting this fight. We need our
no,
Caucasian brothers and sisters, to step up and to say, hey, it's not right. Not just when it becomes a soundbite, not when it just becomes a news story, but consistently. Because, this world is made up of everyone, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. Like, we're a melting pot of a bunch of religions and different opinions and colors and ethnicities. It shouldn't be this way in 2022. It really shouldn't. But unfortunately, it is. And so we have to take accountability for ourselves. The churches need to step up. Our white brothers and sisters who preach the gospel, we need to hear from them. You know, we need to know that you're not just saying it just to sound good or to get your marketing numbers up or your algorithms pinging, but we need to know that you're with us as well, because this is a travesty that we're facing here in America. And if we're not careful, we could soon be on the brink of a civil war, based upon how things are beginning to unravel in this nation.
Well, I know it's bad, and but we need to take this month, and I think you would probably agree with me. We need to take this month and recognize the history that we need to make going forward, and as represent and respect the history that has been made. But we got to start at some point to really start to change the narrative and really begin to set our Christian brothers and sisters, no matter what race or whatever you are, and begin to show that love and really have that relationship,
Absolutely.
as we talked about, and really begin to look at how we're going to be able to move this country forward, because the old way is not working. It's
It's not at all.
in the old way of the things that we want to have and things that we want to do is fading fast, because as we begin to grow and begin to see things, and we start to as we like to say in the Christian world, the cover becomes as God begins to uncover everything,
Right.
and you see the light is being shed on some things. It's a lot of things that we need to do, and we need to get ourselves in position so we can make those changes.
Absolutely.
But that's it for this week, man. Would love to sit here, man. I know we can go on and on and on, but Pastor
Yes,
Jay
sir.
Windsor, man, let everybody know where they can find you at and how they can reach and get a word from you.
Oh man, you can go to our Instagram, which is at I am J Windsor. That's the letter J, WINDSOR, at I am J Windsor. You can also go to our church website. We love to connect with you there. www.nazarethga.com. Shout out to all of our covenant partners at Nazareth Baptist Church, where I'm honored to serve as the senior pastor in Columbus, Georgia. So, my brother, thank you so much for the invitation to be on this wonderful show with you, and always a pleasure to connect with you. And I definitely look forward to connecting again.
Yes, sir, y'all. That's it this week, Straight Talk. We'll see y'all next week right here, hanging out with you, man. We got our red on today, so y'all, represent out there. We'll see y'all next week right here on Straight Talk. Y'all be good out there. Peace.
Peace.
Come on, relax and just enjoy the show. We got you here on Straight Talk. Don't be lying, yes, you already know. We got you here on Straight Talk, yeah. We got you grooving. Let us know how you doing. We keep it live right here on Straight Talk. Riccardo Montgomery.